Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. What's up, you guys? Welcome back. So today's SOLOSODE is all about confidence. Confidence is a very powerful energy. It is essentially a tool. I feel that it's strongly connected to trust and to a sense of security. And so, to be operating from our most confident self in as much of our lives as we possibly can, I think is the ideal for all of us, right? So I know that I am a very confident woman, and for the better part of my life, that is exactly the state that I am moving from. However, I am not immune to challenges that come up and try to, put a kink in my armor to make me feel insecure and operate from that state. But at this point in my life, I'm super grateful that I have created tools, this sort of arsenal of tools that I can rely on, that I call upon when these times enter my life, when these moments of adversity present themselves to me. And I have to say that, they really do make a difference. What they essentially do is they shift my energy and they don't allow me to become insecure. So even if my confidence is being challenged, worries are starting to try and, penetrate and infect my trust and bring down that state of confidence. These tools that I turn to always work it out for me, always pivot me and pull me back into a very secure and whole state. So it's like, to even just know that I have this arsenal. So if I'm not in this state where I'm being challenged, but I know that, it's the nature of life. Like it's going to happen at some point, right? Or many points. It's so comforting to know that I got this, these methods, these go-tos in my back pocket that I can pull out at any given moment, and they work. So the idea is to share these, methods that I have with you with the hope that they could possibly do the same thing for you, or, plant a seed that will inspire you to create your own tools that will do this for you. Nothing feels worse than feeling insecure, to feel like I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it. And, I think that when we can turn to ourselves to soothe ourselves and to fortify ourselves, in addition to, it's always nice to receive it from an external source, your family, your friends, your coworkers, a book, a song, whatever. But when we can actually pull this feeling, this energy from within ourselves, you guys, it's empowering. It is, it's like, okay, well, what else can I do in my life? If I can do this, if I can pull this from myself and get myself through this moment, then I can do anything. So let's get right into it. I want to say that, I don't pick one thing that, of these modalities that I'm going to lay out for you. I'm doing them all. So there's no particular order. It's just a matter of whatever feels appropriate and right in that moment for me. I do think that the one that I'm going to start with is probably the most consistent starting point for me. And, there's science behind it. So number one is movement. Science has proven that when we change our physiological state, we change our emotional state. And for the most part, I like to kind of move towards physical activities that make me feel very empowered and strong upon doing them. So for me, it's like jujitsu or lifting weights. If I feel very taxed in the mind, then, I'm going to turn to my hot yoga because that's very challenging, but it offers ease at the same time, right? So if you have some kind of physical activity that you love, and especially one that makes you feel like a badass in the process of doing it, hit it again. I mean, if it's acro yoga, whatever it is, just something that's moving your body and allowing that physiological change to shift your emotional state, because it will in fact do that. Now, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden afterwards, everything's going to be figured out and it all goes away, but it definitely clears, it shifts you so that you have a stronger, more pulled together energy and perspective. And to further that, what I like to do is, this is where it's going to vary, right? But one of the other things that I do utilize is my memory. I go back and I think about all the times that I've been faced with adversity that I didn't know, where worry was trying to infect my trust and make me insecure, make me feel insecure and operate from a place of fear, right? And, in those moments, what I did, the common thread was I surrendered. And, one might say, well, how do you surrender when you feel so under pressure and you feel worried? Well, there's this question that I asked myself. And it really, really helps because it's so simple, but it's so powerful. And there's just, it's like the bottom line, right? And the question is, you either trust or you don't. So which one is it? And, when your back's up against the wall and you feel like I'm being challenged, I feel insecure, or I'm starting to get insecure. I don't have the answers. What am I going to do? How is this going to work out? How am I going to get through this? Those are a lot of questions. And there's probably, and when you don't have those answers, that's a lot of weight. So the go-to question is, do you trust or not? And you have to pick a side. And who wants to pick the side of no? So when you call yourself out, and you confront yourself with that choice, do you trust or do you not? There's something about that where it's, for me personally, yeah, I do trust. That is 100% where I live from. It's from a state of trust. So it kind of serves as a reminder of like, oh yeah, okay, I trust. And, what always has ended up happening is, I conquered the moment. However, which way it worked out, it just did. But the point is that I surrendered, I relaxed, and I allowed the answers to come to me, the solutions to come to me. And then above that, I can now look back and it's like in martial arts, it's like I have a stripe on my belt. I survived this, new challenge. I climbed this new mountain and I'm standing at the top of it. So I know that I have it within me to do it again if I need to. So I remind myself of those moments, and that really helps too. It's reinforcing your capability. Another thing that I love to do, and this is where I'm kind of going to get deeper right now, so let's go into it. I have an expanded version of myself, and she's, this kind of higher version. She lived, it's like a year from now, 2 years from now, not too far, maybe 5 at the most. It's close proximity. I see her so clearly. I feel her every single day. She's very strong. She's very brave. She's so accomplished. She's very confident, so self-reliant, so resilient. And this version of me has already lived in this moment and in the moments that are to come, right? So she's already survived, conquered, kicked ass, and she's like waiting for me in this beautiful state that I see her in this beautiful environment that I see her in every single day. She's like, come at me. And my job is just to kind of, adventure my way through this life, and connect with her over there. And so when I find myself in these moments where confidence is being challenged and, worries are trying to hang over me, I literally call upon her and go, well, what would you do? Because you've already done it. So what would you do? And and here's the thing, there's no disconnect between me and her. It's just, she's just an expanded version. So it's literally trying to pull myself into my future state, my future self, and operate from her mindset, from her senses. And, it's interesting saying it out loud, because what it does, it doesn't give the answers. It's not like she's, this fortune teller who's just going to tell me turn right, go left, It's just more of the, oh yeah, well, if this version of me that I so believe in because I feel her and I see her exists and she's all of these things, well, then I already have what I need in me to get through this because I'm her, right? So if I don't know if you have a version of that yourself already, in your mind that way, but if you don't, I highly recommend starting to visualize that version of you, that person, and, allow that person to be your anchor, to have your back through these times, because that's what she's doing for me. It's like she comes in and she does all the work. She just comes in and she's like, I got this. Just you. All you got to do is just hold your shit together. Okay. And it's actually more like, we got this. And that's, a common thing I say on Black Belt Beauty on Instagram. It's like, you got you, be on your own team. And that's essentially what I'm doing in that moment is, I'm not crumbling. I'm not submitting to the challenge. No, I'm holding steady to it. And I'm just, summoning the strongest part of myself to come in and help me. So again, if you don't have that version of you already embedded in your mind, have fun creating it. It's really a beautiful experience. I love journaling from her perspective. And that's, so let's go into that next tool, writing. For me, writing is the love of my life. I've been writing for the majority of my life. It is so powerful. It is a constant theme, throughout Black Belt Beauty, the Instagram, where I talk about it a lot on these podcasts because it is such an MVP in my life. And, when I'm in these moments, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, okay, so write this and do that. Everyone has their way, whether you already write or you don't. I'm just going to share with you what I do by way of writing in these moments because, it's different from just my general writing, right? So what I like to do is I like to write from a perspective of strength. There is no woe is me when I'm rolling ink on these pages. It's very, very strong. I'm operating from that version of myself that I just expressed. And, I'm kind of like, for those of you who've seen Rocky, Mickey, right? Mickey's in his corner and he's like, get up, you son of a bitch, because Mickey loves you. And that's exactly what I'm doing to myself, for myself, with myself. And it works. It really works for me. It feels so good. So writing is a sense of release. So let's just say you went out and you moved and, you did your thing in the physical sense and you do feel a shift. And now you're like, you want to expand that feeling. Grab your pen, hit the paper and start writing, and maybe within your writing, you're thinking back about those moments that I mentioned where you've already, conquered and survived and thrived from challenges. Here's the thing too. Challenges, when you go to the gym and you want to develop muscles, you have to put stress on muscle. So if we want to grow into our most confident self, if we want to grow our confidence, if we want to grow our strength, if we want to grow, our most capable self, challenge has to be present. None of those things are going to grow through some easy, comfortable life. And it doesn't mean we have to continuously be living or trying to ask for some kind of challenge to fall into us to grow. No, life is going to provide it for us no matter what, right? And especially if you're, a path creator and you're really, working to design a life that you love, right? You're not just on autopilot. You're literally every day, creating from your most bravest, passionate self, creating this ultimate life that you envision for yourself. Challenges are going to be there. So The idea that these challenges are opportunities to grow is a really powerful idea. It's a really powerful perspective because it keeps you in the driver's seat. It does for me. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. It's not a problem. It's a challenge. It's a growth spurt, and it's uncomfortable for sure. But again, knowing that you have what it takes within you, and especially when you have tools like the ones that I'm sharing with you to get you through those uncomfortable moments, that's where it's at, right? It's like, okay, cool. I got this. I can go to war right now. It's all good. I'm going to be good. And I think another thing to point out is that, you can be confident and be afraid at the same time. It might sound funny, but I think about that often because it's true. I don't like this statement this word of fearless. What is that? That's so boring. Fearless? No, don't discredit what I'm doing here, right? I'm going to speak in terms of me, when I'm feeling afraid. And what I do is I go, okay, fear, I see you. I'm still going to step into the octagon with you. It's going to fighting mode now. You're going to go in the trunk. You're just not going to be in the driver's seat. You're going to put more weight on me. I wish you weren't there for sure. But you know what? I can carry this weight. And when I'm done with this moment and I got through it and I am my most, I'm even more confident now. I'm stronger now. I'm more capable. That's how it works, right? Like when you have that added weight and you get through the scenario, you get through a better version of yourself. It's just, it's literally, it reminds me of being in the gym and trying to, build muscle. You got to put stress on it. So that being said, here's another important piece that I really want to focus on. For me personally, it's not just about getting through the moment. I want to get through the moment in the most beautiful, composed way that I can, because we're going to look back, right? I even use it as a tool, like look back and how you got through those moments and how you conquered them. I don't want to be like just broken down and, I want to feel like I'm holding myself in the highest, most graceful, beautiful, again, composed manner to the challenge. And, I want it to be like sexy. That sounds so funny to say out loud, but truly, I feel like, when things feel like, oh shit, they're out of control, or I don't have the answers and it's scary, but you hold it together, that is sexy. So it's not just about getting through it. It's about how we get through it. And I do believe that, again, these tools, at least for me, they do that. They really help me to hold myself together in a way where I'm going to look back and be very proud of myself. And I think that's the main thing. It's like, I want to look back and be like, you're dope. You got through that like a stud. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all, but you did it, and you did it so beautifully. That's how I want to be doing this shit. So the last but not least, the last tool that I'm going to share with you guys here is meditation. Meditation is, you can't pay me to not meditate at this point in my life. I've been practicing meditation for years now, and it's evolved. I'm in love with where it is right now. And it's so cleansing. It's so harmonizing. It's so, what it does for me, it does a lot of things, but keeping it connected to this subject of confidence and, when we're being challenged in that way and when worry is trying to inflict on our harmony, for me, it's this kind of sacred space where I get to get really deep with myself, and I'm connected to my highest self, who I call my muse, right? She's like she's just like, she knows everything. She has everything. She doesn't live from fear. She's, when I say everything, I mean everything in relation to what I want to create for my life. Like, she knows the answer. She knows how to get there. She knows how to guide me. She knows how to soothe me, right? So I have this connected state with her when I meditate. And, sometimes the most profound words come to me, and come from her. It sounds so funny when you say this stuff out loud, but I don't care. I'm sharing it because it really does do a lot for me. So my hope is that it, maybe it does something for you that way. Or meditation could be, it's so many things, just different things to so many different people. But the main thing is, can you leave feeling more connected, more whole, more at ease? Can you feel more secure? I get that from meditation. And that's why it's a tool that I'm, relaying here in this subject, because it really does do that for me. So, if you don't have a meditation practice yet, oh man, I really, really recommend that, you start researching ways that could possibly, be the perfect way for you to start one. And knowing that it's going to evolve. Of course it is, because we're evolving, right? So, when I first started meditation years ago to where I am now, it feels like it's an altered universe, like with the state that I go into and even the method, of how I do it. So that's up to you, but it's just, I'm saying that this is a very powerful tool that we can utilize to keep us strong when we feel like life is trying to shake us up, and especially trying to, submit our confidence. So those are the go-tos, you guys. That's it right there. I mean, that's my toolbox, and who knows what else I'll be adding to this in the days and the months and the years to come. I feel like this subject is definitely going to be, another SOLOSODE down the line. I mean, it's an important energy. And again, it's an important tool that I know is huge when it comes to creating a life that, we're designing from our hearts. It's huge. So I hope that this episode fortified your most confident self. I hope that these tools actually do, serve as, tools for you and are valuable to your process, and that you can utilize them, in your own way to get you through the moments that, are challenging you. And on that note, you guys, I'm empty. I'm empty and I'm so full. And that's the best feeling when I'm done with these podcasts, because it's truly that. It's like, okay, I have nothing more to say, and yet my heart feels so full right now. So that's how I know, that it's time to sign out and send you guys all my love. And, if you guys have your own special arsenal or methods that relate to, the topic today, share them with me. I would love to know. DM me, comment on Instagram or on the website. I love hearing from you guys. I love connecting with you guys. I'm so grateful, every single time I see, a snap or get a DM or get a comment. It does so much for me. And I'm sure those of you who I have connected with in that way can really feel that for me. Thanks for taking the time to check out this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please share it with your friends. Head over to iTunes, subscribe to this podcast, rate it, leave me an honest review. Let's connect. I'm so excited to do that in this space and really create content that elevates your mind in support of your best performance in life. You can find me on Instagram at blackbeltbeauty. I'm active there every single day, and I look forward to connecting with you all. So thanks again, and I'll catch you on the next one.